The sky above Ethan was not blue dot, it was deep purple, moving slowly like liquid glass. Strange stars blinked in patterns he had never seen before. Ethan opened his eyes and felt sharp pain in his head. For a few seconds, he did not remember who he was, or where he was. Then everything came back at once. The crash, the fire, the screaming alarms. Ethan pushed himself up and looked around. His small exploration ship was broken in half behind him, smoke rising from the metal. Tall alien trees surrounded the crash site. Their leaves glowed faintly, like they were alive. "This is not Earth," Ethan whispered. He checked his wrist communicator. Dead. No signal. No power. Ethan took a deep breath and tried to stay calm. He was trained for survival. At least, that is what the Academy had told him. But training did not prepare him for a jungle that breathed, whispered, and watched. The air was thick and warm. Strange sounds echoed from every direction. Some sounded like insects. Others sounded intelligent. Ethan stood up and felt pain in his arm. Blood soaked his sleeve. He tore a strip of cloth and tied it tightly around the wound. The cut was deep, but not deadly. "Okay," he said softly. One step at a time. He moved away from the crash site, knowing it could attract predators. As he walked, he noticed marks on the ground. Footprints. They were not animal. They were shaped like feet, but longer, lighter. Ethan stopped walking. Someone had been here. The jungle suddenly felt closer. The glowing plants dimmed as if reacting to his fear. A low sound moved through the trees. Ethan could not tell if it was wind or breathing. Hours passed. Or maybe minutes. Time felt strange under the alien sky. As night fell, the jungle changed. The plants glowed brighter. Shadows moved between the trees. Ethan built a small fire using broken ship parts and dry vines. The fire pushed the darkness back, but only a little. He sat near the fire, holding a metal rod as a weapon. His heart beat fast. Every sound made his muscles tighten. This is the part where many stories end, he thought. If you are enjoying this story so far, remember to gently support the channel by subscribing. It really helps more stories like this reach you. Suddenly, the jungle went silent. No insects. No wind. No movement. Ethan felt it before he saw it. He was not alone. A soft step came from behind him. Ethan turned quickly, raising the metal rod. Nothing. Then he noticed the eyes. Two glowing shapes in the darkness. Not animal eyes. Calm, focused, watching him without fear. More eyes appeared. 1, 2, 3. Ethan's breath slowed. Whoever they were not attacking. They were studying him. A figure stepped forward into the firelight. She was tall and strong. Her skin was a deep bronze color, marked with glowing blue lines. Her hair was long and dark, tied back with bone rings. She held a spear in one hand, its tip sharp and shining. She was not human, but she was close enough to be terrifying. Ethan froze. Slowly, he lowered his weapon. He knew this moment could decide everything. The woman looked at him from head to toe. Her eyes showed surprise. And something else. Recognition. She spoke in a rough, broken version of galactic common. "A man?" she said slowly. Ethan swallowed. "Yes, I'm human." The woman stepped closer. The spear tip stopped just inches from his chest. "I have not seen a man," she said quietly, her voice steady. "In 7 months." Ethan's heart dropped. 7 months? Before he could ask what she meant, shadows moved behind her. Many shadows, silent, waiting. The fire flickered, and Ethan realized this was only the beginning. Ethan did not move. The spear was close enough that he could see small lines carved into its metal tip. It was not stone, not primitive. Whoever made this weapon understood technology. In their own way, the tribal woman watched him carefully. Her eyes did not blink. They were not cruel, but they were hard, shaped by danger and survival. The shadows shifted. Ethan counted at least 6 figures moving silently between the trees. All tall, all armed. He slowly raised his empty hands. "I don't want to fight," he said in calm, simple words. "I am lost." The woman studied his face. She looked at his wound, the blood on his sleeve. Her grip on the spear loosened just a little. "You fell from the sky," she said. "Like fire." "Yes," Ethan replied. "My ship broke." She nodded, as if this explained something important. "I am Corinne," she said after a moment. "You are on hunting ground." Ethan's stomach tightened. "I didn't know." "No man comes here," Corinne replied. "Not anymore." Her earlier words returned to his mind. "I have not seen a man in 7 months." "Why?" Ethan asked carefully. Corinne did not answer. Instead, she turned slightly and spoke in a sharp, clicking language. The shadows moved closer. The figures stepped into the firelight. They were all women, tall, strong. Their bodies were marked with glowing symbols, some faded, some fresh. Each carried a weapon, spears, curved blades, energy bows that hummed softly. Their eyes locked onto Ethan. Some showed anger. Some showed fear. None showed kindness. One of them spoke harshly to Corinne. "He is a sky man," she said. "Men bring death." Corinne raised her hand. Silence followed instantly. "He bleeds," Corinne said. "If he were a hunter, he would hide his pain." She stepped closer to Ethan and reached for his arm. Ethan flinched, but he did not pull away. Corinne touched the wound. Her fingers were warm, gentle. She frowned. "Poison vine," she said. "It will spread." She pulled a small vial from her belt and poured thick blue liquid onto the wound. The pain burned like fire. Ethan gasped, but stayed still. "You are brave," she said quietly. "Or foolish." "Maybe both," Ethan replied. For the first time, a small smile touched her lips. The other women did not. Smile.1 stepped forward, older, her face marked with deep scars. "This one should be ended," the elder said. "Before dawn." Ethan's heart raced, but he forced himself to speak. "If you kill me," he said, "others like me will come looking." That was not entirely true, but fear is a language everyone understands. The women murmured. Corinne looked at him sharply. "You lie?" "I survive," Ethan said. "That is all." Corinne turned back to the elder. "Let him live until morning. The jungle will judge him." The elder hesitated, then nodded. Ethan was bound with glowing vine restraints and led through the jungle. The path was hidden, almost invisible. The women moved like ghosts. After a long walk, they reached a clearing. Ethan froze. A village stood before him, built high in the trees and along massive roots. Lights glowed softly. Bridges of woven fiber connected platforms. It was beautiful, and dangerous. Children watched silently. Warriors stood ready. No men. Not a single one. Ethan realized the truth slowly. Like cold water filling his chest. This was not just a tribe. This was a world without men. Corinne stopped beside him. "You will stay," she said. "Until the elders decide." "And if they decide I should die?" Ethan asked. Corinne looked at him for a long moment. "Then the jungle will drink your blood," she said softly. As he was led deeper into the village, Ethan felt dozens of eyes watching him, judging him, some with hatred. Some with curiosity, and some with hope. Far above, the alien moon shifted into place, casting red light over the trees. Corinne glanced at the sky, her expression darkening. "They will come soon," she whispered. Ethan heard her. even though she did not speak to him. Who? He asked. Corinne did not answer. She only tightened her grip on her spear. And far away in the jungle, something roared. Ethan stood in the center of the village. The bindings around his wrists glowed faintly, warm but strong. He could move his fingers, but not enough to escape. Warriors stood in a wide circle around him. Their weapons were ready, but their faces showed control. Not chaos. This was not an angry mob. This was judgment. The elders arrived slowly. They were older women. Taller than the rest, their glowing markings faded with age. Their eyes were sharp, filled with memory and pain. One by one, they took their places on stone seats carved from the roots of an ancient tree. Corinne stepped forward and struck the ground with her spear. I found him near the fireplace, she said. He fell from the sky. The oldest elder leaned forward. Her voice was low, but it carried power. Sky men bring ruin, the elder said. Why is he still breathing? Corinne did not hesitate. Because the jungle did not kill him. Murmurs spread through the crowd. The elder turned her eyes to Ethan. You speak, she commanded. Why should we not end you? Ethan felt his throat tighten. Dozens of eyes were on him. One wrong word could be his last. I did not come to harm anyone, he said. I am a traveler. I want to leave. A sharp laugh came from one of the warriors. All men say that, she said. Then they take. Then they destroy. Ethan shook his head. Not all men are the same. Silence followed. The elder's eyes narrowed. That is what the last man said. The words hit Ethan like a blow. The last man? He asked quietly. The village grew tense. Corinne's jaw tightened. He came 7 months ago, the elder said. He wore metal skin. He spoke of trade and peace. She paused. Then he opened our gates. Images filled Ethan's mind without being spoken. Ships, fire, screams. He betrayed you. Ethan said, Yes, the elder replied. And many died. Ethan finally understood. This tribe did not. Hate men because of stories. Hated men because of memory. A sudden cry echoed. Through the village, a child screamed. A small alien creature burst from the shadows. Its body long and fast, its jaws wide. It leaped toward a young girl standing near the edge of the circle. No one reacted fast enough. Except Ethan. He pulled against the bindings, ignoring the pain as the glowing vines burned his skin. He threw himself forward, slamming into the creature mid-air. They rolled across the ground. The creature shrieked and snapped wildly. Ethan grabbed a fallen blade and drove it into the ground beside its head, pinning it. Warriors rushed in and ended the threat in seconds. The village fell silent. Ethan lay on the ground, breathing hard. Blood ran from his wrists. His chest burned. The girl he saved stared at him with wide eyes. He protected. She whispered. The elder rose slowly from her seat. You risked your life, she said. Why? Ethan pushed himself up. Because she was in danger. The elder studied him for a long time. Then she turned to the others. The jungle watched, she said, and it did not claim him. Corinne stepped beside Ethan. Her eyes met his, and for the first time, there was no threat in them. The tribe must decide, the elder continued. The old law demands his death. The crowd tensed. But the old law was written in fear, the elder said slowly. And fear blinds wisdom. Gasps spread through the warriors. The elder raised her hand. He will face the trial of survival. Ethan's heart sank. What is that? He asked. Corinne answered quietly. The jungle alone. No weapons. No help. One night. If he lives, the elder said, he may stay. If he dies, the jungle takes him. Ethan nodded once. He had no choice. As the warriors moved to prepare the trial. Corinne leaned closer. "Most do not return," she whispered. Ethan met her gaze. "Then I will." Above them, the alien sky darkened. The glowing trees pulsed like a heartbeat. And deep within the jungle, something ancient stirred. The trial had already begun. The jungle accepted Ethan without mercy. The warriors left him at the edge of the dark forest just before nightfall. The glowing vines that bound his wrists were removed, and then they turned away without a word. No weapon. No fire. No guide. Only the jungle. Ethan stood still, listening. The village lights faded behind him as he stepped forward. Thick plants closed around the path, hiding all signs of safety. The ground felt alive beneath his boots. Every leaf seemed sharp. Every sound felt close. He forced himself to breathe slowly. Panic would kill him faster than any predator. Ethan moved uphill, knowing higher ground meant fewer ground hunters. He broke branches carefully, placing them low as sound traps. Simple, old human tricks. The jungle watched. As darkness fell, the forest changed again. Glowing plants brightened, painting the world in blue and green light. Strange calls echoed from above, and below, something moved to his left. Ethan froze. A shadow slid between the trees, long, low, silent. Hunter. He remembered Corinne's warning. Most do not. Return. Ethan climbed. He found a thick tree with wide roots and pulled himself up using vines. He wedged his body between two branches, high enough to avoid ground predators. For a moment, he allowed himself to rest. Then the branches shook. Something climbed after him. Ethan's heart pounded. He grabbed a sharp stone and waited. A creature's head appeared, smooth skin, wide eyes, long claws. Ethan struck, not to kill, not to blind. The stone hit its eye. The creature screamed and fell back into the darkness. Ethan did not celebrate. He moved, staying still. Meant death. Hours passed. His muscles burned. His hands bled. His throat felt dry. Then the rain came. Heavy. Warm. Loud. The sounds of the jungle vanished under the rain. This was worse. Predators could move unseen. Ethan slid down into a shallow cave formed by twisted roots. He pressed himself into the mud and waited. Something sniffed the air outside. Slow. Careful. Breath. Another. Ethan held his own breath until his chest screamed. The creature moved away. Time crawled. Ethan's thoughts drifted to earth, to blue skies, to silence that did not feel alive. Just before dawn, a deep roar shattered the rain. The ground shook. This was no small hunter. Ethan ran. He burst from the cave and sprinted downhill. Trees broke behind him. Something massive followed. Ahead he saw a cliff. No choice. Ethan jumped. He landed hard in a pool of thick water below. Pain exploded through his body. He forced himself to stay awake. The roar came again, then faded. Silence returned. Morning light slowly spread. Through the jungle, Ethan crawled to the shore and home. Collapsed. He had survived. Hidden. Eyes watched from the trees. Warriors. Caw. Rin stood among them. She saw the wounds, the blood, the exhaustion, and she saw something else. A man who had faced the jungle and lived. The elder stepped forward. "The jungle has spoken," she said. "You live." The warriors lowered their weapons. Ethan looked at Corinne, barely able to stand. She gave him a single, slow nod, but far above them, dark shapes moved across the sky, and Corinne's eyes followed them with fear. The trial was over. The real danger was coming. Ethan rested inside, a small shelter made of woven leaves and bone frames. The village healers treated his wounds with glowing paste that cooled his skin and eased the pain. His body was tired, but his mind stayed awake. Outside, The village had changed. Warriors no longer watched him with open hatred. Some still feared him, but others looked curious. Children whispered and pointed when they thought he could not see. A man who survived the jungle did not exist in their stories. Corinne stood guard near the shelter entrance. Her spear rested against the wall, but she did not hold it. That alone told Ethan something important. "You should rest," she said. "I am," Ethan replied. "I just don't sleep well on strange worlds." Corinne stepped inside and sat across from him. The light from the glowing plants painted her markings softly. "After the trial," she said, "the tribe must know who you are." Ethan nodded. Asked. She was silent for a long moment. "Why do your people travel the stars?" She asked. "Why not stay on one world?" Ethan thought carefully. "Because humans are curious. We want to understand what is beyond the horizon." Corinne's jaw tightened. That curiosity destroyed us once. She stood and walked to the shelter opening. Ethan could see tension in her shoulders. "I was taken," she said quietly, "by skymen." Ethan did not interrupt. "They came in metal ships. They said they wanted peace, trade." Her voice hardened. "They wanted bodies, labor, control." Ethan felt cold inside. "They killed our men first," Corinne continued. "Then they lied to the women. One man helped them. A traitor." Ethan remembered the elder's words. "The last man opened our gates. I escaped," Corinne said. "But many did not." She turned to face him. Her eyes burned with pain that had never healed. "So when I say I have not seen a man in 7 months," she said, "I mean the last man died screaming." Silence filled the shelter. "I am sorry," Ethan said softly. Corinne studied his face, searching for lies. She found none. "You are different," she said at last. "That scares me more than hatred." Before Ethan could answer, a deep horn sounded across the village. One long note. Then another. Warriors moved instantly. Children were pulled inside shelters. The elders gathered beneath the great tree. Corinne grabbed her spear. "They are close," she said. "Who?" Ethan asked, standing despite the pain. "The ones who took us," she replied. "Raiders." Dark shapes crossed the sky, blocking the glowing stars. Small ships. Silent. Fast. Fear moved through the village like fire. Corinne looked at Ethan, conflict burning in her eyes. "If you stay," she said, "you may die." "If I leave," Ethan replied, "you will." She hesitated only a second. "Come," she said. They moved to the edge of the village. Ethan saw the truth clearly now. The tribe was strong, but they were not prepared for technology like this. The raiders were coming back. Corinne leaned closer to Ethan. "If you fight," she said, "the tribe may never forgive me." Ethan looked at the warriors preparing below. "Then let them hate me," he said. "As long as they live." Corinne's grip tightened on her spear. For the first time, she did not see a man. She saw hope. Above them, the first raider ship descended, its engines humming like a hungry beast. And Ethan realized something terrifying. The jungle was not the greatest danger on this world. Civilization was. The first raider ship touched the ground just beyond the jungle edge. Its surface was dark and sharp, like a weapon shaped into a machine. A low hum filled the air, sending fear through the village. Smaller lights appeared in the trees as more ships hovered above. Warriors formed lines. Spears raised, bows glowing. They were brave, but bravery alone would not stop this. Ethan moved forward without thinking. Pain shot through his body, but he ignored it. "They will come from the sky and the ground," he said quickly. "They always do." Corinne looked at him. "You know their ways." "I've seen raiders like this before," Ethan replied. "Different worlds. Same methods." The raiders stepped out of their ship, tall, armored, their faces hidden behind dark visors. Energy weapons glowed in their hands. The first shot burned a tree in half. Panic spread. "Wait!" Ethan shouted. Some warriors turned. Others did not understand his words, but they saw his urgency. "Pull back to the narrow paths." Ethan said to Corinne, "The jungle is your ally. Let it fight with you." Corinne hesitated, then raised her spear and gave sharp commands. Warriors moved fast, melting into the trees. The raiders advanced, confident and loud. They did not see the traps. The ground gave way under the first raider. Vines snapped tight around his legs and pulled him screaming into the canopy. Energy fire cut wildly through leaves. Hitting nothing. Ethan grabbed a fallen raider. Weapon and studied it for a second. Simple interface. Crude. He smiled grimly. "Still the same," he muttered. "More." Raiders fell as warriors struck from above and vanished again. The jungle became a maze of death, but the raiders adapted. They released hunting. Drones. Small. Fast. Smart. One drone spotted Ethan and fired. Corinne leaped in front of him, the blast grazing her side. She fell with a cry. Something inside Ethan snapped, dragged her behind cover, and pressed his hands against the wound. "Stay with me?" he said. Ethan stood, raised the raider weapon. He aimed not at the raiders, but at the trees above them. The branch exploded. A massive creature dropped from the canopy, crushing two raiders instantly. Fear finally touched the invaders, pushed them back. Ethan shouted. The warriors followed him now without question. He moved fast, thinking faster. He cut power lines, triggered natural traps, used sound to draw predators into the fight. The jungle roared with life. The raiders began to retreat. One turned and aimed at Corinne. Ethan did not think. He ran. The shot hit his shoulder, burning deep. He fired back, dropping the raider where he stood. Silence followed. The remaining ships lifted off, damaged and fleeing. The village stood still, breathing hard. They had survived. Corinne struggled to stand. Ethan helped her. The elder approached slowly and looked at Ethan with new eyes. "You led," she said. "You protected." She lowered her head. Not fully, but enough. "The tribe lives," the elder said, "because of you." Ethan felt the pain hit him all at once. He swayed. Corinne caught him. "You should not have done that," she said softly. Ethan smiled weakly. Humans don't run when others need help. Corinne looked at him, emotion clear on her face. Above them, smoke faded into the alien sky. But Ethan knew one truth. This was not over. Raiders never forget. And neither do humans. Morning came. Slowly after the battle, the jungle was quiet again, but not peaceful. Broken branches, burned ground, and fallen weapons told the story of what had happened. The tribe moved carefully, repairing shelters and tending the wounded. Ethan sat beneath the great tree, his shoulder wrapped in glowing cloth. The pain was sharp, but he ignored it. He had felt worse before. Corinne stood beside him. The tribe did not push her away now. That alone was a change. The elders gathered as the sun rose higher. The oldest elder stepped forward, her staff resting against the earth. "You are not one of us," she said to Ethan, "and yet you fought as if this world were your home." Ethan lowered his head slightly. "I did what was right." The elder studied him. "Many speak of what is right. Few bleed for it." She turned to the tribe. "For generations we feared men," the elder said, "because one man betrayed us." Her eyes returned to Ethan. "And now one man stood between us and death." Silence spread. The elder raised her hand. "The old fear ends today." Some warriors gasped. Others looked unsure. But no one spoke against her. Corinne felt her chest tighten. She looked at Ethan, searching his face. Later that day, Ethan's communicator crackled. A weak signal. He froze. Slowly, he lifted his wrist device. A blinking light appeared, faint but real. Unknown signal detected, the device said. Rescue protocol active. His heart raced. He could leave. Corinne saw his expression and understood instantly. They are coming for you, she said. Yes, Ethan replied. My people. They walked together to the edge of the village, where the jungle opened to the sky. For a long moment, neither spoke. If you leave, Corinne said quietly, you will survive. And if I stay, Ethan replied, your world may fall again. Corinne closed her eyes. We are strong, but we are not ready for the stars. Ethan looked at the village, at the warriors training, at the children laughing softly, alive because of last night. I won't stay, he said finally, but I won't forget you. Corinne's voice trembled. Will your people come back? Yes, Ethan said, but not as raiders. He turned to her and placed his hand over his heart. I will tell them who you are, and what you deserve. Corinne reached out and pressed her forehead against his. A gesture of trust, of farewell. The rescue ship arrived at sunset. As Ethan boarded, the tribe gathered below. Not with weapons. With respect, the elder raised her staff. Go, Skyman, she said. Carry our story. Ethan looked back one last time. Corinne stood tall among her people. No longer alone. The ship lifted into the sky. As the planet grew smaller below. Ethan felt the weight of what he carried. Not victory, not responsibility, not far away in the quiet of space. Ethan sent a message, not a warning, a promise. The stars did not change, but one world had. And somewhere deep in the jungle, a tribe looked up at the sky, not with fear, but with hope.